We are the champions who clash.
Doom, 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 doom.
And we'll keep on clashing to the end. We are the champions. These are predictions. No, well, these will be made.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to our WWE Clash of Champions 2019 predictions video, which for the first time ever is coming to you live. That's right, it is currently live on the old YouTubes. I am Luke Owen, and you forgot to do my hand thing. You are El Fagador Laurie Blake.
I remember to do my hand thing.
Press the thumbs up button, press the subscribe buttons, all that good jazz. Leave your comments down below. And if you are watching live, get your super chats in to Randall Datson. I think we're doing those after we have done La Predictions. So speaking of La Predictions, obviously this ties into the greatest league in the history of wrestling predictions, the Wrestle League. Wrestle League is the most important thing in the world right now. And I thought I'd give you an update on where we stand in terms of the rankings. So this will include SummerSlam, TakeOver Cardiff, and All Out. Laurie is in first place with 20 points. Speaking of champions.
I am the champion.
And then it is Ollie with 19 and Andy with 19 points as well. Peter with 16 points and myself, predictably, Paddy last.
Stupid Luke
with 15 points. Because I had a terrible All Out. Really, really bad All Out. I did all right at SummerSlam and I did although, hilariously, when we were talking about the TakeOver Cardiff predictions, I was like, yeah, no, we all said Kaylee Ray was going to win the title because it would be stupid to say that Toni Storm was going to win. And then it turns out I said that Toni Storm was going to retain. So who's the idiot here? But we're going to be talking about our Clash of Champions predictions. If you want to get involved, if you want to join the Wrestle League, head on over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk and become a pledge hammer at the $5 or above level. And there's a form there that Andy Datson has created. It's a very, very fun form. And we're actually going to be going through some of your predictions in this. It's a bit of a new format that we're going to try with the prediction shows. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from the Wrestle Leaguers and what you think is going to happen. So, up first.
It might help us.
It may do. But coming up first, it is Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Fire and Desire for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Laurie Blake, what say you?
I neither know nor care.
We're off to a hot start.
Yes. Fire and Desire.
You're going with F&D.
Yeah.
I went with Bliss and Cross for no other reason than... I did a partridge shrug.
Yeah. There was something between Cross and Mandy Rose that sort of started brewing.
You could say that because Nikki got the pin on Rose on this week's SmackDown, that could set up Fire and Desire for a win. But I don't think I've cared enough to give it any other modicum of thought. Yeah, I'm only going with Fire and Desire, pin them in a tag match.
Fire and Desire maybe win. Maybe Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss have a falling out. And then they have their feud that... this whole thing has been for. Well, maybe, yes. Well, who cares?
Well, let's see what some of the smarter people think. So, Scott Williams, who is currently joint first in the Wrestle League, has gone with Rose and Deville as well. Has gone with Fire and Desire.
The champion's choice. Champion's choice.
Another Wrestle Leaguer, AJ being the same as style, who's currently joint second, has gone with Bliss and Cross.
That's why you're second.
And Scott W, who is currently has got less points than I have.
Yep.
Has gone with Bliss and Cross.
Oh, it's fate. Fire and Desire.
And going by the rest of the Wrestle Leaguers, 74% have gone with Bliss and Cross, with 26% going for Fire and Desire.
Outside choice.
It's the and do you know what? In that case, they may as well win. Because honestly, the belts don't matter.
I'm going to put £1 on it.
Yeah. For the Cruiserweight Championship, it is Drew Gulak versus Lince Dorado versus, my boy, Humberto Carrillo. Loved a bit of Humberto. What a handsome chap.
He's great.
In the world of professional wrestling.
This match is going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah, isn't it?
This match is going to be... I mean, I imagine a lot of Drew Gulak on the outside, leaning on the apron going, wow, they can do a lot of flips.
I think it's going to be more. Lince Dorado and Carrillo do loads of flips, and then Drew just goes and realizes, nope, just drag it to the mat with some solid fundamentals.
Yeah.
I have gone with a Drew retention.
Oh, give me one of those as well, please.
Go for a Drew retention too.
I think his championship reign is going very well, and they're not going to take the belt off him for a while yet.
And it is a Drew retention all round from first and second place from Scott and AJ. However, Scotty W, who is currently on 13 points, less than I am, has gone for Carrillo.
It's these kinds of choices, mate. It's these kinds of choices.
But let's see what the overall opinion says. Wow, it's 80.8% have gone for Gulak.
Mm-hmm.
With amazingly, there's actually and then we've got 12% have gone for Carrillo, and less than that have gone for Lince Dorado.
I mean, if I was going to put it on someone who wasn't Gulak, it would be Carrillo as like a big shock win.
Mm-hmm. Well, moving on to what I'd imagine, because I've got to think those are the two kickoff show matches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I've got to think so.
50% of that gets me excited.
But coming up next, it is AJ Styles versus Cedric Alexander for the United States Championship, a match that was set up in the last few days, basically. What say you, Laurie Blake?
It's a tough one, because I feel like they could almost replicate the Ricochet thing with AJ here and have Cedric win, and then AJ wins back. But I think the safe bet is to go with AJ. The
safe bet is to go with AJ. I have also gone with a Styles retention. As much as I like Cedric, I just don't think the story has been built up enough for it to think like, I think Cedric might win.
I think this is a good opportunity to continue to build Cedric, because you can have the OC interfere here, help AJ out. Cedric gets a really good showing, gets a rematch down the line, and he can win the championship a lot later. Wow. When AJ's ready to move on to the next thing, ideally the Universal title.
Scott, who was in joint first place, has gone for Cedric Alexander.
I mean, I think there could also be a using AJ's US title run to swap titles onto younger guys to establish them as champion material.
Well, it appears that Cedric is the outside choice. 8.6% of our Wrestle Leaguers have gone for him, while a whopping 91.4% have gone for AJ. So it looks to be a bit of an AJ landslide there. Up next for the Intercontinental Championship, it is Shinsuke Nakamura versus The Miz. So Nakamura obviously recently just been partnered with Sami Zayn as his mouthpiece. Although that partnership wasn't really mentioned on SmackDown this week, because Sami was there to be chokeslammed by The Undertaker. And Ollie's theory is that he thinks they're going to quietly drop the partnership and just kind of give up on it, basically. But on the strength that they've just set them up as a partnership, I am going with a Nakamura retention on this one. What say you?
Well, so my only other theory, and that's from watching our predictions, our rumors video that's going live tomorrow.
It's going live tomorrow.
Is that they could be putting the belt on Miz to eventually devalue Jericho's Intercontinental record.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one who's going to get close. And this match did kind of come out of nowhere. Miz?
You going for Miz? See, I thought my figuring was they went with Nakamura. Well, they went with Miz as sort of a challenger to Nakamura because Miz doesn't really lose anything if he loses. It's just like it's a good first step for Nakamura and Zayn to overcome as the sort of heel partnership.
Yeah, sure.
Which is why I figured they picked Miz. But you're right, there is always that chance that it's a petty thing and they're just doing it to spite Jericho.
They are quite petty.
Yeah, they can be, yes. Shinsuke Nakamura has been chosen by Scott as AJ. But Scott W, in last place with the 13 points, has gone for Miz.
Yeah, but I think he's on the level.
He's
gone for Sami Zayn. He's not even an option.
And going by the rest of the Wrestle Leaguers, 67.9% have picked Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, I think this is the outside choice.
Yeah, Miz being 31% of that vote. Up next, it's a match that, I mean, you could almost forget what's happening. It's New Day versus The Revival for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The New Day haven't been on TV now for a number of weeks because Xavier Woods was injured by The Revival and Randy Orton, and Big E was taken out by them as well. So we were all sort of expecting the big New Day reunion, but it's not happened. So instead we've got a match with very little build.
Yeah.
But it is New Day versus The Revival. And you are up first.
Revival.
Go for The Revival.
I think you could put it on the Revival to build into the Kofi Randy match.
Yep.
Which is stakes to that.
Yeah, well, our man in first place has also said the Revival.
I mean, I could see a Revival Orton stable having 3 belts heading into SmackDown going on Fox.
Hello.
I can see that.
Hello, you. I mean, because I've actually gone for a New Day retention.
Mm-hmm.
I have no reason for that basis. The only thing I can say is they were the ones who were beaten down. Them beaten down does also give them the out if they lose, but they were beaten down. They were the ones that have been put out on the injured list. And also the story is that they've never beaten the Revival.
Yeah.
However, that story also works. The Revival beat them, and you tell the story of New Day finally have to overcome the Revival.
Yeah.
Yeah. But 75.9% have also said New Day, and 24.1% have said the Revival. This could be a show.
I could storm ahead.
This is a show that could
drop back.
really, really split everything, and you could fly off ahead, or I could make a big Sterling comeback. Although, as I said to Randy yesterday, Randy said, "You're 5 points behind Laurie." I was like, I don't need the 5 points. I need the 1 point I'm behind Pete.
Yeah, that's it.
I just need to be ahead of Pete, and I don't lose.
Yeah.
And that's the key to it. Up next for... Actually, it's not for the title. In fact, it's our only match on the card that has no title attached to it. It is Roman Reigns versus Erick Rowan.
Glad you're going first on this one, mate.
I've gone...
Because I don't know.
I've gone for Big Red.
Yeah?
I'm going for Erick Rowan. I think it would be a real shame to do this big heel turn. Not heel turn, because he was already a heel, but to do this big monster push, have him split away from Daniel Bryan, and then just have Roman beat him on his first try.
Yeah.
That would be... I mean, it's very WWE.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a real shame.
I could see it going to a no contest and revealing that Daniel Bryan is actually the mastermind behind the whole thing.
I think it would really downplay Eric's character as well.
Stupid, confusing feud that's happening.
It is a no DQ match, actually. Yes,
so
so's Hell in a Cell. Brock Lesnar still managed to cause a DQ in that.
So is it a no DQ match? Then Bryan comes out
and it becomes a no contest.
Yeah, and just helps Rowan win.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to go with Rowan.
You going with Rowan as well?
I think I as much as all my other picks have been quite cynical, this one I'm going to go with what I think they should do story-wise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our man in first place has gone for Roman, whereas our man in last place has gone for Rowan. God. Let's see what the rest of the Wrestle Leaguers say.
Roman.
71% have gone with Roman Reigns.
He's the safe pick.
27% have gone for Erick Rowan. I think it would be such a waste to give Rowan a loss here. I mean, if it's a no contest, then that's one way out of it. But I actually just think, just give Rowan the win.
Yeah.
What's Roman going to lose from losing to Erick Rowan?
Roman Reigns.
Exactly, he's still Roman Reigns. He loses nothing by losing the match.
Well, especially if something like a Daniel Bryan and a Harper appear,
I don't see that happening.
No.
Anyway, for the Raw Women's Championship, it is Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks, the returning Sasha Banks. What say you, Laurie? Banks. I'm taking this one all the way to the Banks, mate.
Banks.
It's got to be Banks.
Come on. I mean, more than any other match on the card, this is... If Banks doesn't win, it is such a waste of a return and a heel turn and a push. The whole thing is completely... You just blow it all up for no reason.
Counter.
Go on.
The reason is 2K20.
Well, yeah, I mean
that is the cover.
That's what I mean. But why would you waste this? Because you could
shrugging the shoulders for that one.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine why a lot of people have gone for Lynch on this, because she is the 2K20 star, and the 2K20 star tend to get a bit protected around this sort of time. I mean, Roman's on the cover as well, so bugger we got for Erick Rowan. But I think I'm with you. I think it'd be a complete waste of a Sasha return and the heel turn for her to just lose.
Also because do you know what? Becky's on the blooming promotional stuff for SmackDown on Fox.
So you may as well take the Raw title off.
You might as well take the Raw title off her, because she's still going to be the 2K cover star. She's going over to SmackDown. She'll be SmackDown Women's Champion.
She'll be a top
in about
star
a month.
there. Yeah, exactly. She'll be a top star over there instead. It doesn't really matter. And I think they're going to go with this sort of two-man power trip with Banks and Bayley. Spoiler for one, I think, for the Bayley-Charlotte match. And across the board, everyone has gone for Banks in this from our selection. And in terms of the wider Wrestle League, 72% have gone for Sasha Banks.
Come on, Sasha!
7% have gone for Becky Lynch. So a lot of people thinking it's going to be Sasha on this one.
Maybe she can defend it for once.
Well, yeah. Who knows?
That's the drama for Raw, isn't it? It's like she has her first title defense. It's like, can she keep the belt?
And Bayley versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I've already given away my thoughts on this, but I think it's going to be a Bayley retention. Again, the heel turn. You don't do the heel turn and then just take the belt off of her.
Yeah. I'm in two minds. I'm more in two minds about this one than I was about the Becky Sasha match, because I feel like they might want the belt on Charlotte for Fox. But I'll say Bayley.
Go with Bayley as well. I mean, it's
She's
interesting.
got time to lose it before Fox.
Well, that's it. And it's interesting to note that like the 4 people that they put front and center for the SmackDown advertising are Roman Reigns, Kofi Kingston, Becky, and Charlotte. Mm-hmm. And there's not a Bayley in sight.
No, Bayley's going to Raw.
Which makes me think they could drop the belt here, or do they drop the belt at... I mean, but at that point, they're already on Fox.
I think they do. I think this builds to another match, and then Bayley loses, and then Bayley ends up on Raw, and then they'll do Bayley versus Banks eventually.
Yeah. Finally, that Bayley versus Banks feud that we've
no
been
one cares about
clamoring for no one cares about anymore. In terms of our man in first place, he has gone for, let me try and find where it is. Has gone Bayley. He's also said Bayley, as has AJ, and so has Scott W. So it's a Bayley win across the board for there. The wider has also said Bayley. 83.5% has said Bayley. Cool. 16.5% say Charlotte. That's low. I thought there'd be a lot of people going for Charlotte.
She feels like a safe bet.
Yeah.
They always like a Flair.
They always like a blonde lady who's tall. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I'm actually surprised that the Bayley number is that high, but I'm guessing a lot of people are in the similar thought that we are, which is that she's just turned heel. Also, Charlotte pinned her on Monday.
Yeah.
So, they don't want to pin her again, which will really undermine their heel turn. Up next for the WWE Championship, it is Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton. What say you, Laurie?
I'm really torn. I like the idea of a Randy Orton revival stable,
super faction
with all the belts. But I think I've gone for the revival winning the tag team titles to add drama to this match, and to potentially take the New Day out of the picture, seemingly. Mm-hmm. And then I think the revival go to interfere, New Day reappear, get the heroes welcome, they're all back together, Kofi wins.
You're going with Kofi?
Yeah.
I have also gone for a Kofi retention here. I just don't think Orton's the guy to take the belt off him.
No, he's definitely not.
No. Shane McMahon is, obviously.
Yeah. It's all for Shane.
It's all for Shane to finally beat
Kofi. For Shane!
So, yeah, I'm going with a Kofi Kingston retention here. I think he's going to be a big facting. I think he's going to be a big part of SmackDown on Fox. Mm-hmm. And I just think they want to keep this sort of Kofi Mania run going.
Yeah.
So, but
because he can keep bringing up those 11 years until they're 12 years.
Yeah, exactly. Our man in first place has also gone for Kofi Kingston, as has our man in second place, and our man in last place.
Okay.
What is the wider audience saying? Well, the wider audience is saying 80% Kofi Kingston.
Ooh.
80.3 to be precise. 19.7 have said Randy Orton. Again, it's low numbers. It seems to be everyone is going in one direction for this show, and there's only really sort of a small group of people who are thinking it's going to be an opposite direction, which I find very interesting, because when Chopper was doing his predictions the other day, he was saying that he thought this was a very unpredictable show.
No, I don't. I feel like it's, you kind of get WWE. You get the sense when they feel like it's the right time for certain feuds, and that Kofi definitely is going to be. There'll be a moment where Kofi loses, surely, and it's got to feel like a really big deal. I don't feel that the Orton feud is necessarily built up to that.
No,
just another obstacle.
But then we've got a bit of a double main event here. I don't know where this is quite going to go in the pacing of the card, but we have got the tag team titles, the Raw tag team titles, being defended. Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman defending against Rudolph, the Rando tag team. And I have gone for a Rudolph win. I think you can then set them up for feuds down the road with the Viking Raiders, which we're doing on Raw this week. But crucially, and more importantly, Street Profits. Because at the moment we're not doing anything with Street Profits, they're just a Greek chorus. And I think you've got Rudolph the Rando tag team, Street Profits can come in as the fiery baby faces and get the belts off of them. So I'll go with Rudolph on this one.
I feel like Rudolph is the smart choice, because you don't want Seth and Braun to still be tagging together when they head into that Universal title match. I feel like the point of them being being tag champs now is so they have a match earlier. They have to have a match earlier in the card in which they have a falling out. Mm-hmm. And that will cost them the belt.
Yeah.
Probably because Braun Strowman attacks Seth, leaving him laying for Rudolph to pick up the win. So he's already kind of beaten Seth once in the night by the time we get around to the main event.
Protecting him then in that main event if he does lose.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're going with Rudolph as well?
I'm going with Rudolph
with Rudolph as well, as has our man in first place and second place. And our man in last place has gone for Rollins and Strowman. Yeah, it's an outside shot, but according to... actually, this is a bigger split than I was expecting. 71% have gone for Rudolph, and 28%, nearly 30% have gone for Rollins and Strowman.
Well, I mean, it depends if they're going to do a weird... They're the tag team champions, and they keep fighting over the Universal title while in the same tag team.
Yep.
It's a rogue choice for a story, but it's a choice.
And then lastly, in our main event, it is Seth Rollins versus Braun Strowman for that Universal Championship. What would say you?
Rollins.
Going with Rollins. I'm also going with the Monster Slayer.
I think it's too soon to take the belt off Rollins now. Like we've just had the Brock, the weird tangent into Brockness, so we can have the SummerSlam win again. Yeah. So it's like, and now we're going to do Strowman for a month and then go back into Rollins again? Or
yeah, no, I agree. I think it's going to be Rollins, and I think they're going to do Fiend Rollins at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And it appears to be our biggest landslide of the night because 90.5% have said Seth Rollins to retain, with 9.5% saying Braun Strowman. So that's a big one.
Fiend Slayer.
Don't even start.
Monster Slayer.
But our bonus question for this prediction, we always have a bonus question on the Wrestle League predictions league. And league. And our bonus question for this evening, or for this predictions round, is the 24/7 title is defended on this show. Michael Cole said as much on commentary. So R-Truth will be defending his title at some point in the night. How many 24/7 title switches will there be through the duration of the show, including the kickoff show?
Okay.
So to cross the whole night, how many title switches are you going to do? I have gone for 4.
4 is a very reasonable number.
I've gone for 4. What say you?
6.
Whoa, that's big.
It's a long show.
It's a
it's a long show.
That's a long shot, mate. I'll tell you that much.
6. A couple of randoms. A janitor.
Yep. Well, our man in first place has gone for 3. It's half of what you have said, as has the man in second place. And Scott in last place with 13 points has said 2.
6.
And looking at the wider picture, 3 appears to be the big choice. 32.1% have gone for 3, while 16.8% have agreed with me with 4. In terms of your 6... It's so small, it's 4.8%.
You don't win predictions leagues with safe bets, Luke.
Yes, 4.8% have gone for your vote of 6.
Yeah, well, this was the highest ratio of getting it wrong likelihood, so I just went with 6.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a harder one to do. Someone did suggest that we would do, will Bliss and Cross be baby faces or heels? But we thought it was too obvious because they're going to go to Fire and Desire. So they're clearly going to be baby faces this week. But that is all of the predictions. So we've actually got a lot of similar predictions, you and I, differing on Nakamura versus Miz and New Day versus Revival, as well as that women's tag match. So the only 3 that you and I are differing on.
So you could catch me by 3.
I could catch you by 3, but crucially, I just want to beat Pete. So those are our thoughts. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below. But before you do that, let's hear what Randy Andy Datson has to say from the Super Chats.
When you said Brock, I got very concerned that he's going to return again.
Well, he could do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Fiend beats him at Hell in a Cell.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
The Fiend Beast.
Jesse Venable is our first super chatter to say, super chat for the big brave boys. Best wishes for Chopper from that crazy bump he took on Tuesday, and for Laurie turning him into an astronaut.
He did pass.
He was a very good. He did pass his astronaut.
Passed his astronaut training over on Screenstalker. If you're not sure what that's about, head on over to Screenstalker and watch our review of Ad Astra to see the segment on that show that legit made Ollie Davis cry with laughter.
Phoenix says, happy 10th anniversary, my whittle choppy woppy. Love you.
Is it Phoenix or is it Phoenix?
I would say Phoenix, but it's spelled F-E-N-I-X.
Yeah, I'd say that's Phoenix. But anyway, so what was the question? You just saying happy birthday to Chopper.
Happy 10th anniversary.
Oh,
yeah.
10th anniversary. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dina Sisse says, I almost forgot to do this yesterday, so happy Ethiopian New Year, King Chopper Whopper. The year is 2012.
It's obviously a lot of people in before they knew that Randy Datsun was doing the Super Chats today.
Yeah. Yes, sorry. Jonathan Hedman says, with everything that's going on in pro wrestling, do you think we're on the cusp of a new and exciting era of wrestling? Or are we, going to be listening to more podcasts talking about how nothing much changed?
I think we've been in an exciting period of wrestling for the last year. Mm-hmm. Really have, like with this kind of like rise of AEW since All In, I would say was kind of like when I felt like wrestling really found its a new wave,
new groove.
It's new groove, yeah. And now with AEW starting next month, I'm so stoked for their first show on TNT. I'm stoked for NXT going live next week, even though it is a really complicated nightmare at the moment of when we actually get to see it.
But I think that's the interesting thing is that when AEW goes live and NXT gets its 2-hour show on TV, I think both those two brands are going to go all out, for want of a better phrase, to make them big draws.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see what the knock-on effect of that is to Raw and SmackDown as well, and how far they go trying to make those shows gangbusters. They're already digging up Stone Cold and The Undertaker to try and be like, oh, get excited.
And
it'd be interesting to see if when they see if NXT does really well because it's got amazing wrestling on it, do they suddenly go, well, we just need longer wrestling matches on Raw and SmackDown finally?
Maybe, yeah.
A bit less talk show.
It's going to be, it's be very interesting for the sort of like wrestling YouTube landscape as well. We've got a hectic schedule, so much so we're looking for new people to come on board to kind of like help out and sort of lighten the load a little bit. I was talking to a friend of mine, just going to quickly name drop there, Ross Williams, who wrote Bob Holly's book and recently wrote Al Snow's book. And thank you very much, Ross. He sent it across before he's even got his own copy of it. Hornswoggle's autobiography. Life is short and so am I, which I am very much looking forward to giving a read. But I was chatting to him last night and I was like, we work long days as it is currently, and it's only going to get longer, and I'm working weekends now once SmackDown moves to Fox. But I couldn't be more excited. My wife's not. She's very upset that we're losing our weekends together, but, hey-ho. WWE just didn't think of the little person when they signed to go on Friday nights.
Is that what you call her?
Are you talking about Hornswoggle?
Spider Dan Evkovich says, do we think Sasha and Bayley will form the 2-woman power trip and win all the women's belts?
Oh, win the tag titles as well. I'd love that, actually.
That'd be really cool.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, and lead to the eventual split.
The mayor of Painesville says, I actually predict The Miz to win the IC title as they have brought up his IC title record quite often and the Zayn and Nakamura alliance is already screwed up. Well, to be honest, Dan, you're so far down the leaderboard, it doesn't really matter what you think.
No, but he's got a point though, hasn't he? They have mentioned that a lot, the title reigns a lot. Dan might have a point there, and you said it earlier. Yeah.
I've also gone Miz.
You've gone for Miz as well, have you? What was the overall thing again? 31% have said Miz.
Yeah.
So
they aren't thinking about the mind games. Mind games, Luke.
I'm on board with 67.9% of people. So I'm gonna hold on to that for now. But I am sticking with Nakamura.
Garrett Lippy, which is a wonderful name, says, hey Swaff Nation, my girlfriend and I are huge fans. Thank you so much for the consistency. Looking forward to being a patron soon as I work my first full-time year as a physical education teacher.
Wow! Those who can teach, and those who cannot teach PE.
That's a lovely message.
Take that, Garrett.
It's from School of Rock. But anyway, no. Congratulations to you. PE is a very important subject. It's just one I couldn't do. Or just
climb those ropes, Luke.
Oh, God, no.
I don't want to.
Actively avoided. God, me and my friends were so good at, like, when you play football, to look like you're doing something, but you're actually doing the bare minimum, doing so little. But you'd make it look
run
like...
up and be like, oh.
So you just run where the ball isn't. But into positions where the ball could go, and then you just sort of switch around and just run. Very, very good
I
at
think
it.
the key is to just say man on a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you just go, man on!
Square it.
Yeah.
Is another one.
Yeah.
Say it a lot.
Man
Square
on.
it.
Man on!
In the box, in the box.
Exactly, yeah. There's lots of ways to get round
Mark
doing
him!
PE.
Mark him!
I remember you at school, Luke. M.A. Campbell says...
I don't know how.
I remember you, the type of person.
Oh, I see
at
what you're
school.
saying.
M.A. Campbell says, will any feuds continue to Hell in a Cell?
I don't think Randy Kofi will. Cedric AJ I could certainly see going for longer.
I think Cedric AJ will run.
Yeah. Maybe New Day Revival. Rowan's... I mean, if Reigns doesn't beat Erick Rowan, which I don't think he will, they'll definitely have a rematch.
Yeah.
Maybe even inside Hell in a Cell.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and I could see the Becky, Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte thing running for a bit longer as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I could see the Revival New Day with Orton as well running as a thing.
Let's do it as a 6-man at Hell in a Cell next month, rather than do a WWE title picture.
Winner takes all.
And I'd actually really like, that's quite cool. Yeah, doing a 6-man Hell in a Cell. That'd be really sweet.
Adam Pearson says, what will be match of the night?
Good question. I'm going to go with Styles Alexander.
As long as it gets more than 10 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, my most anticipated match is Big Boss Man. But I think Styles Alexander probably could be the match of the night.
Yeah, Styles Alexander, or the triple threat cruiserweight match. Could be very good.
As ever, the Dark Horse match.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Lynch Banks. I think that could be really good.
Yeah.
Stephen Keel, thank you for your donation. Peter Mullins says, Rowan, what should WWE have done differently?
Everything.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
Have him admit it earlier.
Have an end game in mind. This is where we're going to end up. Let's book backwards from there, as opposed to let's start here and then go, now what? Now what?
If you're going to do a mystery, have a mystery.
I just don't think...
I'm pretty sure people don't write crime books going, I wonder how this ends.
I was going to say, I don't think Agatha Christie ever wrote a novel being like, I just don't know how it's going to end.
Murder she didn't wrote.
Murder she made up as she went along.
Murder she improv'd.
Now that is an Edinburgh Fringe show I would like to go see. Murder she improv'd?
Yeah.
That's great.
I'll start it next
year. You do an improv murder mystery. It's a different killer each time you go.
Someone from the audience.
We're on to a bit of a winner here.
Know.
Right. God, trademark that.
Only we were funny.
This is it's trademarked for this show.
Make sure you spell it right. Matt Field says, will the Fiend appear at Cock?
It's very, very, it's possible.
I think the Fiend's all over Cock.
Yeah. Like Riley Reid. I think it's certainly possible.
She keeps coming up.
Title of our next
As
tape.
do I.
That's for tomorrow's Saturday show, which we've just recorded, if you want to know what we're talking about. But yeah, no, I think it's very possible that the Fiend appears. Yeah.
Erica Duran, who is Luke Owen's real #1 fan.
Which I think is quite true.
Haven't been able to join in some time for the live streams because of my recent promotion. But wanted to drop in and say hi while on my way to work.
Yes. Well done, you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on the promotion.
Orlando Orrego says, hello, Flom. Hello,
You said it again. Come on, mate. Third time's the charm.
Hello, all from Florida.
There he
I
is.
just realised that WWE will have 4 days of programming starting with Clash of Champions pay-per-view.
Oh, they will. That's right, yeah, because you've got Clash on the Sunday, Raw on Monday, SmackDown on Tuesday, and then NXT's live on the Wednesday.
Big week.
Big week. But then again, that's the way it always is. It's just, I suppose, now it's on the USA Network.
And it's an extra hour.
And it's an extra hour. It's going to be such a busy week.
Sort of on the.
You know what? I feel like I'm not being down on the fact that we're going to be so busy making content. I'm genuinely looking forward to all of it.
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to watch NXT this week.
Oh yeah,
so
great! What a stacked show it is. It's going to be great.
Just got to figure out how to watch it first. James Williams says, "Can SoCal Val work with you guys more? She's awesome.
She is awesome. It's just whenever we can get her into the office. She doesn't work in the office 5 days a week like we do. So whenever she can come in, we'd like to do more stuff with her.
Been in this week.
She has been in this week. You were doing some stuff with Screenstalker. What did you record?
We did a fake Rambo quotes quiz in which we'd made up a load of Rambo quotes, and I got her to see if she knew if they were Rambo quotes or not.
Did she get the one I put down?
She actually pretty much got all of them. Oh, like, she was very good. And she knew where it was from as well. And she knew that it was Arnie. And we did... What was the other thing that we did?
Did the Batman villain one?
Oh, we did a bunch of Batman villains, yeah. So I tested on obscure Batman villains.
Nice.
And how we would turn them into Oscar-worthy propositions.
Oh, love it. Love it. Yeah, SoCal Val's great.
And lastly, which is a wonderful question, Spider Dan Evkovich says, what would the Fiend's Universal title look like? Would he get a new design?
Just the Universal title, I'd have thought.
I think it would just be Bray Wyatt's midriff. The bit of Bray Wyatt where he wears the titles, or just like his sort of pelvis.
I want him to get rid of the WWE
with the lantern in it.
So you know, you got the WWE playing here.
Yeah.
You get rid of that, and it's just Bray's face. But it's massively zoomed in.
Oh, like that Doctor Who thing.
So there's no gap around it. I just want to be all Bray's face with him doing a maniacal smile.
And it's small and golden. It spins.
No, I'm going with my face one.
His teeth are a grill and they spin.
It's the smile that spins around. Yeah,
that's it.
That is it.
Well, thank you so much for your super chats, and thank you for joining us on our first ever live streamed prediction show. A lot of fun. And it was really nice going through your predictions as well for the Wrestle Leaguers. If you want to join the Wrestle League, head on over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk. The button has just appeared on the desk, actually, if you're watching this on catch up, as well as videos to catch up with latest WrestleTalk awesome things. I've been Luke Owen. This has been our Fakador Laurie Blake. Over there was Randy Andy Datson, and that was predicting.